Good evening and welcome to Newline, your Sunday tonic and of course passport to stories that shape our lives. I am Claire Adelabu Abdulrazak and it is a pleasure to have you with us once again. Now let's begin with a gentle caution wrapped in warmth. The weather hasn't been exactly hospitable today, isn't it? It's been chilly and biting cold since morning. Almost as if the wind had a personal vendetta against any exposed skin. And now to our package for tonight. We'll show you how rough, dirty, streaked hands rummaging through the belly of sprawling dump sites are turning society's cast-offs into a lifeline, both for those who toil there and, of course, for our environment. Then, of course, we have the extraordinary story of a young boy whose story refused to be forgotten even after 18 long years. Now, that is what I call a story that will certainly tug at your heart. Of course, Newline will not be complete without celebrating our traditions and culture that define us. And so tonight, we will journey this time east to Igbo land, where a humble staple rises above the plate to become a symbol of reverence, and its status is nothing short of royal. And then we will journey west to Osogbo, where a single graceful step by a young maiden has etched her name into history. And as always, I'll be your pilot-in-chief aboard Newline Airways, navigating through all weather, all landscapes, and all the stories that matter, with no turbulence, of course, except it makes the news. So fasten your seatbelts, sit back, and enjoy the ride. Our news segment will take off in just a moment. And we begin with renewed hope agenda being on the set to commence another massive infrastructure project, this time in the aviation sector, with the Federal Executive Council's approval for comprehensive renovation of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. And our State House correspondent, Musbat Wahab, engages the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, on the need and prospects for this project.
Murtala Mohammed International Airport remains tall in Ikeja. But then, the stature of the airport inaugurated in 1979 can no longer effectively shoulder its responsibility as the busiest international gateway. Despite perpetual expansion over the years, giving birth to the Terminal 2, the biggest commercial city of the country is in dire need of not just a modern, but also a more efficient airport. And now, about 50 years after its inauguration, there is a renewed hope for its new look, with over a 700 billion naira FEC approval for a comprehensive renovation. The outgrown road network, outdated building structures, and the equipment in the airport 2 terminals are to make way for modernization.
We want to make the airport a smart airport, an airport that meets modern international standards, an airport that can compete with any type of airport, modern airport you see in the world, an airport that can rightly project Nigeria's image, an airport that can be an enabler for investments in the economic sector, that can be an enabler for tourism in the tourism sector.
Coming with total exterior and interior enhancements, as well as 2 different ring roads, the proposed new main buildings promises a completely new experience for the users.
We want to now put a new ring bridge. There are 2 ring roads around the airport. One is for arrival, one is for departure. And those ring roads will have bridges. One bridge will take you up to the 2nd floor of that Terminal B, I'm talking about Terminal 2, where the bridge will just pass by the side of that glass door at the top. and they will now open the glass door as an entrance or different entrances. That's the drop-off area, and you are walking it straight into departure. So you don't have to carry your bags up again, the lift or the carousels. And that thing will go around the airport. It will also connect Terminal 1. That same road will connect Terminal 1 and come back again to the Oshodi Expressway.
The existing canopies, boarding fingers, and apron at the Terminal 2 are also to be upgraded.
Terminal 2, once you drive in and you walk in, there's only one door in a big international airport like that. And that was a design error. How will you have a massive international airport with one door? What if there's a stampede? And that's why you see a long line. Sometimes in the rush hour, you see customs and immigration check or customs checking people's bags. And because there are no multiple doors, there's only one door. You see a long queue going, to the outside.
With the funding guaranteed under the dedicated Renewed Hope Infrastructure Fund, the actualization of this aviation infrastructure is set for 22 months after mobilization to site. In Abuja, Musbal Wahab, NC News.
Wow, fantastic. It's breathtaking already. Now, the aviation unions in Nigeria have announced the suspension of planned nationwide strike, which was set to begin on Monday, August the 11th, 2025. The unions, comprising the National Union of Air Transport Employees and all other aviation employees, issued a joint statement deferring this strike action. The union cited positive developments following interventions by the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, and other senior officials. A tweet on the minister's verified handle confirms the suspension. The minister promises to continue to work with other comrades to find lasting solutions to pending issues in the sector long before he came to office. The Remi-Tinubu Support Organization has appointed trustees from Jigawa State to drive the First Lady's vision of taking the Renewed Hope initiative to the grassroots. This initiative, a flagship of her project, focuses on uplifting women, youth and children across Nigeria. Anwel Mohammed reports.
The Renewed Hope initiative has so far committed about 9.4 billion naira to health interventions and humanitarian projects with the goal of improving lives nationwide. During the presentation of appointment letters, National Coordinator UC Buba said the organization is expanding its reach to promote Senator Remi-Tinubu's leadership ideals and grassroots development agenda.
With the wife of the president, she's doing a lot. She's doing much to the country. She's doing much to the masses. So we have to enlighten to know that it is through a Renewed Hope initiative of Senator Remi-Tinubu.
Barrister Yakubu Ruba San, appointed as the national trustee, described the role as an honor and pledged full commitment to advancing the First Lady's vision.
For this wrestle, I am committed. I will do the very best I can to ensure its success nationwide, not only in Jigawa State. As a national trustee, I own a duty to see that the right thing is done. The common man is benefiting from this noble objective.
Also appointed was Ibrahim Babao as Northwest Financial Secretary. The Remi-Tinubu Support Organization also enjoys the backing of state governors' wives who serve as the organization's matrons at state level. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazauri, NTA News.
And Kano State Government has announced plans to reactivate inactive centers and establish new comprehensive centers for the management of acute malnutrition across all 44 local government areas of the state. Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf made the announcement during the launch of several health intervention programs, stating that the initiative aims to save lives and enhance the well-being of children. Abdullahi Mustafa has a report.
Stakeholders in health and nutrition have gathered in Durbunde community, Takai local government area, to witness key interventions aimed at reducing child mortality and improving overall child health. Distribution of ready-to-use therapeutic food to various primary health care facilities across Kano State, as well as foundation laying for the reactivation of 187 primary health care centers previously abandoned. These centers were originally established for the comprehensive management of acute malnutrition.
We have provided equipment, consumables, other commodities, and even staff training for CMAM establishment and reactivations.
Representatives of various stakeholder agencies commended the Kano State government's renewed commitment to health services and programs.
Kano State was the first state in Nigeria with the highest singular contribution to the Child Nutrition Fund, with the release of 500 million naira, which will date, this is the highest single funding by states in Nigeria.
They expressed optimism that these interventions will significantly help in addressing malnutrition and other life-threatening childhood diseases. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
And the gauge station of the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency says the volume of water from River Benue in Adamawa State rises to 5.53 meters, which indicates danger to impending flood disaster, especially to people residing along flood-prone areas. To this effect, the National Emergency Management Agency (ULA) office calls on the communities residing along riverine areas to vacate to higher grounds as the volume is alarming. The volume of the water, according to the head of operations, NEMA, ULA office, Ayuba Ladan, may not be unconnected to constant heavy rain in Cameroon Republic for the past days. And President Bola Tinubu congratulates Prince Adeniyi Yemade, former Lagos State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry and two-time member of the Lagos State House of Assembly, on his 70th birthday. An accomplished businessman and public servant from Ogun State, Prince Oyemade dedicatedly represented Ikeja constituency in Lagos State. During his legislative tenure, he served as chairman of key committees, including budget, appropriations, and education. He also contributed significantly as a member of the Finance, Public Accounts, Sports, and Social Development, as well as Mineral Resources committees. President Tinubu applauds Prince Oyemade's versatile leadership and results-driven approach to governance that shaped critical reforms in budget planning, education, fiscal policy, and public service delivery. President Tinubu prays for Prince Oyemade's good health and strength to carry on his good works. And in sports, the D Tigress continue to receive applause and rewards for their hard work. These and other details we have coming up with Bade Adeleye. Bade, isn't that correct?
And of course, the Super Falcons not exempted. All right, let's begin with football this time. And of course, Super Falcons player, that is Francisca Odega, has described a win as a shared glory and not a personal one. Odega was recently honored by Benue State Governor Saint Alia, who doled out 50 million naira to the Super Falcons winger. And of course, he gave her a fully furnished 3-bedroom bungalow in Makudi. Hailing Odega as a shining example and an inspiration to every young girl in Benue and beyond. Governor Alia lauded her unwavering dedication to sports and her ability to consistently bring honor to the state and the nation.
With the one whom God chose and elected to represent us, one who has been a great ambassador of this state in sport in the last 5 victories.
I reflect on the journey that led us to the WACON victory. I am reminded of the countless hours of training, sacrifice made, and the challenges we faced. Each match was a battle.
And to a bit of basketball now, Nigeria's senior men's basketball team, the Tigers, have arrived in Angola ahead of the 2025 Afro-Basket Championship scheduled for August 12th to August the 24th. Nigeria's men are chasing a second continental crown, a decade after lifting their maiden title in 2015. Star guard Josh Okogie headlines the team's 12-man roster released on Saturday after a week of campaign. Drawn in Group B with Tunisia, Madagascar and Cameroon, the Tigers tip off against Madagascar on August the 13th. Away from home now, let's quickly go to England, where we had the Community Shield Earlier today, as Crystal Palace won the trophy for the first time on Sunday, defeating Premier League champions Liverpool 3-2 in a penalty shootout after the match had ended 2-2 in normal time. The highly anticipated match at Wembley Stadium, which witnessed 3 goals inside opening 25 minutes, saw last season's FA Cup winners twice come from behind in 90 minutes and then won it in the shootout. Dean Henderson was the hero, saving from Alexis McAllister and Harvey Elliott after Mo Salah blazed his effort over. With the Community Shield serving as the top-flight curtain raiser, the 2025-2026 Premier League campaign is now just 5 days away. Reigning champions Liverpool get the season started with a visit of Bournemouth to Anfield on Friday. And to not the best of news now, another Japanese boxer, Hiromasa Urakawa, has died from a brain injury suffered at an event in Tokyo. The 28-year-old died on Saturday after he was beaten via knockout in the 8th round of his fight with Yoji Saito on the 2nd of August. It follows the death of Shigetoshi Kotari on Friday from injuries sustained during a separate bout on the same card, with both boxers having undergone surgery for subdural hematoma, a condition where blood collects between the skull and the brain. Urakawa is the 3rd high-profile boxer to die in 2025 after Irishman John Cooney passed away in February following a fight in Belfast. And that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's now return to Claire.
Thank you, Bade. I'm not a fan of boxing or basketball, but I'll do well to follow the D Tigers in Afro basketball competition. Thank you, Bade.
Welcome.
All right, let's take a look at the weather forecast for the rest of the country on Monday.
Glad to have you join us. Let's take a look at the latest forecast. Widespread thunderstorms and rains are expected to sweep across the north and the north-central cities, with chances of moderate rains in the southeast and south-south regions. Meanwhile, light rain is likely in the southwest. This rainfall is expected to start early in the morning in some cities and continue into the afternoon and evening hours across the country. There's a possibility of flooding in parts of Adamawa, Taraba, and Benue. Residents in these areas are advised to take necessary precautions to ensure their safety. Stay tuned for further updates and stay safe.
All right, thank you. That's the weather forecast from the Meteorological Weather Center. That's the news. All right, take a deep breath, relax, get a cup of tea. Newsline will begin right now.